Lakers trade rumor. Lakers interested in acquiring Chris Paul from Suns. After losing in the first round of the NBA playoffs this season, the Los Angeles Lakers must revamp the roster for next year. Los Angeles built a complementary roster to surround LeBron James and Anthony Davis, but those plans unraveled when either of the two, and oftentimes both this season, were injured. Heading into next season, LA must find more skilled players who don't rely on James and Davis to do all the creating on offense. It makes the scheme too predictable and forces those players to make shots off the ball, and that wasn't the case against the Phoenix Suns. In that series, the Suns packed the paint and clogged all the driving lanes James could take, forcing him to find teammates out on the perimeter instead. Phoenix's strategy worked because the Lakers didn't have any other consistent off-the-bounce threats other than James after Davis went down. But, speaking of Phoenix, the Lakers reportedly have an eye on veteran guard Chris Paul, according to Mark Spears of The Undefeated. According to sources, LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers have been on the hunt for veteran point guard, and Paul is on the list. For Paul to join forces with James for the first time in their careers, it would likely take a sign-and-trade with the Suns. The most the over-the-cap Lakers can offer Paul, without a sign-and-trade, is a $9.5 million taxpayer mid-level exception. The attraction of chasing his first championship with James, Anthony Davis, and the Lakers could be an appealing option for Paul to ponder. Keep in mind that Paul, a former LA Clippers star, still lives in Los Angeles with his wife and 2 kids. But as intriguing as Paul on the Lakers sounds, since he checks the boxes of what LA needs, LA doesn't have the financial means to compete for Paul's services. Paul has a player option for next season worth over $44 million, and the Lakers, as mentioned, can offer only $9.5 million, so Paul would need to sacrifice over $30 million for a shot at a ring. And if it is a sign-and-trade deal the Lakers want, the primary assets they can put on the table for Paul are Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Kuzma, and Talen Horton-Tucker, as well as future draft picks to sweeten the deal. Paul had the best numbers on Phoenix during the NBA Finals, which makes it unlikely the Suns depart from arguably their most talented player when they were 2 wins away from their first championship in franchise history. The Suns would add more depth to the roster, but none of the players are at Paul's caliber, so their spot in the standings could take a hit.